Troubles, they don't last always. For there's a friend in Jesus who will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, just lift your hands and say, oh, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand. No matter what may come my way, my life is in your hands. You don't have to worry, and don't you be afraid. Joy comes in the morning. Troubles, they won't last always. For there's a friend in Jesus who will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, just lift your hands and say, oh, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand. No matter what may come my way, my life is in your hands. With Jesus I can take it. With him I know I can stand. No matter what may come my way, my life is in your hands. I end up catching the case. Yeah. I screwed up horribly. I messed up horribly. And I thought that my whole life's plan was going to be derailed because of the mistake that I made. Yeah, hanging with the wrong people. I got caught up. And there was many things that I wanted to achieve in life. And because of the infraction that I did, for the things and the penalty that came with that, I thought that my whole life was derailed. Anyone ever been there before? Anybody ever been there before that you thought that your bad decisions and your choices would take you out of God's will and out of his plans? Anybody ever been there before that you messed up so bad? Yeah, you took penitentiary chances. You dealt from the water from the wrong well, that you followed the wrong advice from the wrong people only to see your life turn upside down? Anybody ever been there before? Hey, look, I ain't got no time for you sanctified people to act like you ain't never done nothing in your life, to act like you always been righteous, like your doodle don't stink, that you ain't had some infractions in your life, because if that was the case, what did Jesus have to die for you for? Truth is, we all perfect in being imperfect. We've all stunk up the place at times. We've all done some things in our lives that made us feel like we were stuck and there was no way out of this one. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Many of us feel that the hole that we have dug for ourselves is so deep that our plans would never come into reality. But listen again to what your loving Father writes. He's saying, despite it all, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Woo. But see, I'll be remiss if I didn't talk about the historical context here in Jeremiah, because he spoke these words to Jews who have been living under the domination of the Egyptians and then the Babylonian Empire before eventually being carried into exile. Yeah. And one can only imagine what it would be living under the control of your enemies. And then forced by those same enemies to leave your homeland and settle into a foreign country. But let me tell you something else. What tops all that? Jeremiah tells the people that they would be in captivity in Babylon for at least 70 years. That this ain't gonna get fixed quick. That I don't care how much you pray. I don't care how much you're going to read the Septuagint or the Torah. I don't care. This ain't going to get fixed quick. God says, get comfortable. Yeah. You might as well get familiar with this place. Build your houses, make you some babies. But God was going to show them a roadmap eventually of how to get out, but they had to hold on. Can you hold on when it seems like your plans aren't working out? Can you hold on when your timetable and God's timetable don't line up? Can you hold on when you're hurting on the inside? When people are constantly taking advantage of you? When people are shaming you or working you to death and not paying you what you deserve, when they talk about you, when they look at you crazy, when they always got things to say about you, can you hold on? So when you understand the context of Jeremiah 29 and 11, we discover the words Jeremiah was talking about was to a people who were in the midst of hardships and suffering. People who were likely desiring God to fix the problem quickly. But God's response was wait and hold on. So my question is, have you ever experienced a Babylon situation? Have you ever had your own Babylon experience? That you were fearful, afraid, stuck, and thinking that everything that you planned in your life was over. Yeah. But the reality of the matter, I'm about done, that you may not never and have never experienced being physically chained and bound, but you know what it means to be exiled. Yeah. Or you have done something in your life that has you emotionally shackled, has you chained, and has you held captive by the past and all that shame and that guilt. But even in that, God promises that he has a plan for you, a plan to prosper you in the midst of your current situation. Sometimes God's plan makes no sense. Sometimes God's plan will make you wait. And sometimes God's plan will require much work on our behalf. But we got to remember that God sees a bigger picture. Hey, somebody need to understand this. God sees a bigger picture. God sees a bigger picture. Even with the pain and the suffering, there's purpose for your pain. Purposeful pain. And you can't see it, and you don't understand, and you just want it to be over. God, fix it. Get it off me. Stop it, God. But God's saying, wait, because I'm working on some things that you don't understand. Your blessing is not just for you. I need you to hold on a little while longer because there's someone coming behind you that I'm going to use you as a conduit for a blessing. That is called foreknowledge. That is that God knows things possible as possible. He knows them certain as certain. He knows all things as contingent, all things future as future, all things past as past, and all things preordained as predestined and certainties. That's the God that you serve. You serve a God that has foreknowledge, that has providential care for you as you walk through this crazy maze called life. When you think that you're lacking, when you think that you don't have enough, he's right there taking care of you, giving you exactly what you need every stop of the way. That's your Father. Your Father loves you too much to allow the pain to endure forever. Your Father loves you too much for you to stay exactly where you are. Your Father wants you to grow in the grace and the knowledge of Jesus Christ. Your Father wants to bless you beyond the mess, the trials, the dysfunction, the curses, and yes, even your self-inflicted wounds. Key number 3. I'm going. Give me something, Sister Lisa. Key number 3. Trust God's providential care to always see you through. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plan to give you hope and a future. God bless you.